Well, for many in Sri Lanka, it was supposed to be a Sunday to mark an important Christian holiday. Instead, there's been a series of attacks that have killed at least 156 people across several cities. Police say at least 8 coordinated explosions happened at several churches and hotel resorts. The attacks targeted worshippers during Easter Sunday services and people at 5-star hotels. At least 35 foreigners are believed to be among the dead. They happened at sites in the capital, Colombo, 2 suburbs, Dehiwela and Dematagoda, nearby Negombo, and in the eastern city of Bitikoloa. Al Jazeera's Manel Fernandez is standing by for us live at St Anthony's Shrine, one of the churches attacked in Colombo. We'll have multiple reports and real-time action, but first, Laura Burden-Manley begins our coverage with this report.
One blast so violent, it ripped through the roof of this church in the heart of the capital. The floor covered in remains of the roof, wood and blood. This video posted online shows the moment of the blast. St Anthony's Church is popular with locals and foreign tourists. After the explosion, shock and disbelief. 3 separate churches bombed on Easter Sunday, one of the major celebrations in the Christian calendar. One witness says the blast was so powerful it shook the surrounding buildings. But it wasn't just Christians targeted. It seems to be a much wider operation.
They are the casualties. We transported them to the National Hospital, and then we have been advised to come to the Shangri-La.
Bombs also ripped through 5-star hotels. In the heart of the capital and all close together are the Shangri-La, Cinnamon Grand and Kingsbury hotels and the St Anthony's Shrine Church. St Sebastian Church in Negombo and Zion Church in Bitikoloa were also targeted, and the Tropical Inn Hotel in Dehiwela. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says he'll take firm action.
I would like to express my condolences to the families of victims and those injured in the attacks that took place. I strongly condemn these attacks that targeted religious sites and luxury hotels. We will take stern actions against all those who are responsible, regardless of their stature.
This is the largest coordinated string of attacks in Sri Lanka in recent years, and so far, no one has claimed responsibility. For now, ambulance crews rush to treat hundreds of injured people. And with many people dead and widespread damage, the extent of the devastation is being assessed. Laura Burden-Manley, Al Jazeera.
Well, our correspondent Manel Fernandez joins us now from outside St Anthony's Shrine, one of the churches that was attacked in Colombo. Manel, now 8 blasts, with 2 some hours after the first 6. Do we yet know if this is over?
Well, every Sri Lankan is certainly hoping so, Anastasia. When we had the 6 explosions at mid-morning and the sort of initial news of it sank in, people had hoped that that was the end, and then we had 2 more incidents. Now, having said that, people do not want to assume that it's over. Very much the response of the law enforcement authorities, the police curfew that's been brought into effect with immediate notice, are all part of trying to get a handle on the situation. So everyone hoping for the best, hoping that we've seen the worst. If you can look just over my shoulder, we're seeing some of those fatalities at the St Anthony's Church, all of them being lined up in body bags of the huge number of fatalities just at this location. And some heart-wrenching scenes. We've seen at least 2 families clutching basically mobile phones where they have photographs of their loved ones. They have no idea where these people are. They're trying to convince some of the workers that are bringing out the dead bodies to try and identify whether their loved one is among the dead bodies. There's a second family that just arrived. They said they've done the rounds at the hospitals, the mortuaries, and they cannot find the person in the family, and they've appealed. They're sitting out here just waiting for news. Anastasia?
Manel, alongside those families, we can also still see a huge security presence there with you. And given that no one has yet claimed responsibility, I imagine there's some pressure on the authorities to work out who's behind all of this. How is that investigation progressing?
I'm sure the authorities are hitting this on all fronts, Anastasia. We've seen all manner of arms of the security establishment. You can just hear in the background the sound of some patrol bikes, some basically security squads doing the rounds, all heavily armed, a number of military personnel being deployed all around the country. We have a huge section of security personnel. Even now, that sound you hear behind me, 4 motorbikes mounted with security personnel, obviously rushing to some kind of call out. And this is the kind of nature of what we've been seeing in the last couple of hours. We had a bomb disposal squad vehicle that was pressed into action about a half an hour ago, zipping its way down the road because there had been reports that there was a parcel in a drain on the side of the road. So a huge amount of sort of reports also being called in. Obviously, people don't want to take the risk and, avoid or fail to avoid another tragedy. But that is the way things are panning out. The police curfew imposed island-wide in place as we speak. Anastasia?
Al Jazeera's Manal Fernandez on the ground for us in Colombo. We'll be speaking to her throughout the day. Thank you, Manal.